Hello there.
General Kenobi!
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the greatest Jedi across Star Wars. We're including only canon characters and ranking based on abilities, accomplishments, strength, and just how beloved they are with fans.
If so powerful you are, why leave?
Number 20, Shaak Ti. Shaak Ti was considered one of the wisest Jedi, and as such, was a key player in multiple battles. A special level of trust was given to her by her peers too, as she was tasked with monitoring the training of the Republic's clone army.
Although I don't agree with his sentiment, Brick isn't wrong. These cadets are far from ready.
The Clone Wars show further bolstered her popularity by exploring her connection to the clone troopers. She wasn't just leading them, she was helping them realize their potential. She was a caring and compassionate being while staying fully devoted to her obligations as a Jedi Master, and not many can toe that line. At first, you might just see her as a Jedi belonging to the same species as Ahsoka, but Shaak Ti is a star too.
Solve your problems as a whole, not as individuals. I have decided to allow you and the rest of your squad to take the test again tomorrow.
Number 19, Keeve Trennis. Trained by the great Trandoshan Jedi skier, who also could have made this list, Keeve Trennis is one inspiring Padawan. Despite harboring insecurities about her potential, Trennis deservedly earned the title of Jedi Knight and became a valuable asset to the High Republic. She contributed fiercely as a fighter, but it was her internal resolve that truly made her a powerful warrior. During a deadly quarrel with the mind-controlling Drengir species, Keeve saved her mentor from the parasitic aliens' brainwashing. She selflessly put herself in harm's way to protect ally Lorna Dee during the battle for No Space, and the scope of her noble actions eventually earned her the title of Master. As a proven personification of vulnerability, strength, and courage, she is undoubtedly a galactic heroine. Number 18, Quinlan Vos.
Hey, Commander, looking good? Kenobi, you look worse for wear. How's temple life?
If you're a Star Wars fan, you're pretty much hardwired to love rebellious characters, but the Jedi aren't typically known to be this. Sure, there are plenty who muddy the waters and blur the lines, but few do it like Quinlan Vos. He's an expert tracker often sent on grisly missions who leads more with his heart rather than his mind.
We're trying to catch Zero, remember?
Which way have they gone?
Well, since you're suddenly so interested in my tracking abilities, they went this way.
Instead of repressing his emotions, he actively taps into them to gain the winning edge. His willingness to embrace his feelings even leads to a romance with Asajj Ventress. On paper, it's kind of baffling how he's a Jedi. In fact, he even once fell to the dark side. But despite this, his unconventional style makes him an incredibly unique warrior and one to watch.
Quinlan was here.
Yeah, he helps now and again. Smuggling younglings.
Number 17, Tera Sinube. They say patience is a virtue, and there's probably no Jedi who represents that phrase better than Tera Sinube.
That is Tera Sinube. He's an elder Jedi. He happens to be an expert on the Coruscant crime world.
The elderly Jedi Master isn't one to rush into a fight, and while that could be seen as a disadvantage for some, it's a pretty valuable strength for him. With his extensive knowledge of the criminal element, he solved numerous crimes on Coruscant in record time. He also once helped Ahsoka Tano recover her lost lightsaber while imparting some golden nuggets of wisdom along the way.
Not quiet with your mouth, quiet with your mind. You're so anxious to find this pickpocket that your worry is equal to his.
While he doesn't like to get his hands dirty, he can kick some serious butt when he needs to. Don't assume that just because he's old, he's out of the game. Number 16, Kanan Jarrus.
It was at the end of the war. Our fellow soldiers, the clones, the ones we Jedi fought side by side with, suddenly turned and betrayed us.
Though Kanan left the Jedi following Order 66, the core qualities of the peacekeeping organization would live on inside him. Besides being a pivotal part of the Rebel Alliance, Kanan was instrumental in mentoring future Jedi like Ezra Bridger and also Mandalorian Sabine Wren. He also knew his way around a lightsaber, battling the fearsome Darth Maul. Even though Maul blinded him in the fight, he still refused to throw in the towel.
Go get Ezra! I will make this quick. You had your chance.
His perseverance in the face of doom is genuinely awe-inspiring and makes Kanan someone to root for. Number 15, Rey. Whether you love or hate Rey and the part she plays in the sequel trilogy, she's come to represent the start of a brand new era for the Jedi.
You will remove these restraints and leave this cell with the door open.
I will remove these restraints and leave the cell with the door open.
She's someone who looked up to the likes of Luke and Leia Skywalker, and even made it a point to adopt their name. She's vanquished new threats like the First Order, and extinguished pesky old ones like the Emperor.
I'm all the Jedi.
She re-elevated the Jedi and has played a large part in shaping the direction of Star Wars for the future. We won't deny that she's been considered divisive by some fans, but you can't overlook what she's accomplished. Number 14, Luminara Unduli.
Even with my vision clouded, I recognize the fighting style of Count Dooku. Your version is unrefined, amateurish, sloppy.
Sometimes the best Jedi are the most loyal ones, and few were more loyal to the Republic than one of Miriel's finest. Much like another famous Jedi on this list, Luminara Unduli found her resolve tested by the betrayal of her corrupted Padawan. But her continued dedication to upholding democracy made her one of the Jedi Order's most honorable leaders during the Clone Wars.
Protecting a Jedi Master is the role of a Padawan.
And teaching is usually the role of the Master. Master Skywalker should be proud.
With lightsaber and combat skills that few were able to match, Luminara met an unfortunate end while being used as bait to attract other Jedi to the Empire in the wake of Order 66. Fortunately, her comrades didn't fall for the ruse. Spreading word of her sacrifice, they ensured that her nobility did not die with her. Number 13, Tar Vizsla. For giant franchises like Star Wars, it's all about making history, and a certain trailblazer in that regard is Tar Vizsla. Tar was the first ever Mandalorian to become a Jedi.
This was one of a kind. Legend tells that it was created over 1,000 years ago by Tar Vizsla, the first Mandalorian ever inducted into the Jedi Order.
It's no easy feat, and if you ask us, it's pretty badass too. It isn't every day something like that happens. As both a Mandalorian and a Jedi, Tar created the legendary Darksaber and took control of Mandalore.
It was forged over 1,000 years ago by the Mandalore Tar Vizsla. He was both Mandalorian and Jedi.
Not much else is known about him except for the fact that he has left quite the legacy. He's practically worshipped by the people of Mandalore even today. It's also very likely he was equally respected by fellow Jedi. Who says you can't have the best of both worlds? Number 12, Avar Kriss. A Jedi Master during the High Republic, Avar Kriss embodied the ideals of the Order at its peak. Selfless and compassionate, she led efforts to unite and protect the galactic frontier in the Outer Rim, serving as Marshal of Starlight Beacon, a space station built to aid navigation and communication. Favoring a two-handed grip on her lightsaber, she was also a powerful fighter, playing pivotal roles in the Drengir crisis and the Nile conflict. Avar wasn't flawless, struggling with internal pressure and anger, but she was an exemplary and inspirational figure of the period. Number 11, Cal Kestis.
Remember, trust only in the Force. Yes, Master.
Making his debut in the hit video game Jedi Fallen Order, Cal Kestis is a Jedi Knight who survived Order 66, making his way through a galaxy now firmly set in the age of the Empire. While he chose to spend some time in hiding, he'd eventually take up the call to fight, and he'd even survive an encounter with Darth Vader. We aren't expecting him to be the one to topple the Empire, but the unique thing is that Cal's story is clearly far from over. With his popularity, fans have been eagerly hoping to one day see him go from the video games to the big screen.
You're a Jedi. I know what you are capable of, and what you are not.
On the comms, now.
Number 10, Kit Fisto. Even though this Jedi has been confined strictly to the prequel era, he packs quite the punch with the screen time he's given.
I didn't forget to teach you restraint, did I, my old Padawan? I am sorry, Master. I got carried away.
Those who have power should restrain themselves from using it.
Kit Fisto lent a helping hand at many crucial points, like when he put a stop to C-3PO's brief but highly comedic Jedi hunting phase during the Battle of Geonosis, or when he not only held his own against General Grievous but essentially beat him. He was such a valuable asset that he was selected by Mace Windu to help take on Chancellor Palpatine.
In the name of the Galactic Senate of the Republic, you're under arrest, Chancellor.
Sure, it might have been a losing effort, but regardless, Kit has proven himself to be a worthy Jedi Master. Number 9, Ezra Bridger. This plucky rebel-turned-Jedi might not have started his journey in the noblest of ways, but Ezra Bridger has left behind quite a meaningful legacy.
I'm trying!
Do or do not. There is no try.
What does that even mean? How can I do something if I don't try to do it?
The member of the Ghost Crew learned under Kanan Jarrus, a skilled Jedi in his own right, whose abilities Ezra would eventually surpass. The Padawan actually accomplished a lot in a short time frame, being an instrumental part of the fledgling Rebel Alliance, and even standing toe-to-toe against Darth Vader. There are not a lot of Jedi at Ezra's age who have fought Vader and lived to tell the story.
I don't fear you.
Then you will die braver than most.
We'll admit, he might not have been the most popular Jedi at first, but his growing list of feats and tremendous character development made him an impressive warrior that fans couldn't deny.
Hi, Hera. Huh?
Number 8, Plo Koon. If you only knew Plo Koon from his appearances in the prequel trilogy, you might wonder how he could possibly fare against some of the all-time Jedi greats. Fortunately, his appearances in the Clone Wars series and other extended media breathed new life into him.
Strategically, it doesn't make any sense for someone to come look for us. If I was in command, I'd be hunting that weapon down.
I value your life more than finding that weapon.
He went from a side character to a fierce leader and someone who served as a mentor to the legendary Ahsoka Tano. But it's not just the ability to beat up bad guys and swing lightsabers around that makes him great. Plo Koon's compassion for others, which is exemplified by his love for the clone troopers, makes him a Jedi who's earned the respect of the fans, which is no easy task.
Why are you so certain no one is coming?
We're just clones, sir. We're meant to be expendable.
Not to me.
Number 7, Mace Windu. Though he was a Jedi, Mace Windu was never one to follow normal conventions, and that's probably why we all liked him so much.
My negotiations will not fail.
If they do, you must realize there aren't enough Jedi to protect the Republic. We're keepers of the peace, not soldiers.
Whether it was his wielding of a rare purple lightsaber or his dabbling in a deadly fighting technique called Vapod, Windu always stuck out. He straight up decapitated Jango Fett during the Battle of Geonosis and nearly killed Darth Sidious. Both of these things that Windu did also had major ripple effects, like motivating Boba Fett to follow in his father's footsteps as a bounty hunter and cementing Anakin's turn to the dark side.
You can't. He must stand trial.
He has control of the Senate and the courts. He's too dangerous to be left alive.
Simply put, Mace wasn't one to just follow orders. He took charge and left a lasting impact on the galaxy. Number 6, Qui-gon Jinn. Qui-Gon is a Jedi who deserved much more time on the screen. As the master to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon taught his apprentice the best values of the Jedi Order.
Keep your concentration here and now where it belongs.
But Master Yoda said I should be mindful of the future.
But not at the expense of the moment. Be mindful of the living force, young Padawan.
While some might have considered him more relaxed with the rules, he still exemplified the core values of the institution. He was patient, wise, and heroic, but also deadly in battle if need be. One could argue that if Qui-Gon hadn't been around to teach Obi-Wan, the universe could have gone in a much different direction.
Always remember, your focus determines your reality. Stay close to me, and you'll be safe.
While that all can be up for debate, what isn't is that Qui-Gon was a caring yet fierce warrior who we all love. Number 5, Ahsoka Tano. You might be surprised to find out that this fan favorite wasn't quite a fan favorite at first. When Ahsoka first appeared in the Clone Wars movie, Anakin's plucky Padawan ruffled feathers.
The name's Ahsoka Tano.
So I thought you said you'd never have a Padawan.
There's been a mix-up. The youngling isn't with me.
Stop calling me that! You're stuck with me, Sky Guy.
In the fans' defense, she was kind of a lot. Thankfully, through years of character development, she soon became one of the greatest Jedi to have ever lived. She's so popular that she's one of the characters who made the jump from animation to live action. Even though Ahsoka had a somewhat rocky history with the Order, eventually leading the Jedi, her name still deserves to be up there with the greats.
We'll just see where it goes.
It could go anywhere.
I know. That's better than going nowhere.
Number 4, Anakin Skywalker.
You are strong and wise, Anakin, and I am very proud of you. I have trained you since you were a small boy. I have taught you everything I know. And you have become a far greater Jedi than I could ever hope to be.
Though Anakin was a Jedi who infamously fell to the dark side, the pure aura he possessed as a Jedi Knight was undeniable. Even without getting the rank of Jedi Master, he developed an impressive list of accomplishments. From battling Sith Lords, fighting in the Clone Wars, and training Ahsoka, he was one busy guy.
Look, when Obi-Wan taught me, we were keepers of the peace. But now, to win this war, I have to teach you to be a soldier.
Oh, and of course, there's also the whole thing where he was believed to be the savior of the whole galaxy. Even if you don't buy into the idea of Anakin as the chosen one, his story is still one of the greatest in the history of the Jedi. Heck, it's one of the greatest stories in the history of movies, too. Number 3, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Many exemplify the ideals of the Jedi Order, and Obi-Wan is no exception. Throughout countless eras, he remained dedicated to the light side of the Force.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must.
Dueling Sith Lords, serving in the Clone Wars, gaining the high ground, aiding the Rebel Alliance, you name it, he's probably done it. He's also had a hand in mentoring some of the most decorated individuals in Star Wars history. He's given crucial lessons to both Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano, and later mentored Anakin's son, Luke Skywalker.
You know, I did feel something. I could almost see the remote.
That's good. You've taken your first step into a larger world.
At a glance, he might have just seemed like the nutty space wizard from the first Star Wars movie. But from there, he has solidified himself as a permanent fixture of not just the Jedi, but Star Wars as a whole. Number 2, Luke Skywalker. Once a simple farm kid on the dunes of Tatooine, Luke soon embarked on one perilous journey after another that led him to become a Jedi unlike any other. You could argue that he's pretty much the gold standard. He's charming, quick-witted, brave, and wise. Yup, the Skywalkers are one super important bunch. And the complex love-hate relationship he has with his father, Darth Vader, has made for, dare we say, epic cinema.
You're coming with me. I'll not leave you here. I've got to save you.
You already have.
While we can't credit just one person for the Empire's destruction, Luke put an end to the Sith and brought the Jedi back into prominence. Even with the muddied reception to his character's direction during the sequels, Luke has persisted as a quintessential hero.
The war is just beginning. And I will not be the last Jedi.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Yoda.
No, try not. Do or do not. There is no try.
An unforgettable Jedi Master and pop culture icon Yoda is. Okay, while we probably can't do the rest of this entry in Yoda speak, we can take some time to speak highly of Yoda. At first, he might just look like a knockoff gremlin in a robe, but don't let his look fool you. He is a highly skilled warrior. But it's not the combat skills that make Yoda so beloved, although that certainly helps. He's a Jedi who is extremely wise, which makes sense since he's roughly 900 years old.
Careful you must be when sensing the future, Anakin. The fear of loss is a path to the dark side.
He's an incorruptible beacon of good who is always helping out others. While he wouldn't brag about it, his status as Grandmaster places him in a league of his own. Is there a legendary Jedi we missed? Let us know in the comments.
Are you a Jedi? I am.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.